Tribe, where we feature amazing influencers who are making such a positive difference in our world today. I am so excited to have Brittany Hammond on our show today. Woohoo! Oh my gosh. She is a Broadway star, having performed recently on the Hollywood Contagious stage with the Jesus Christ Superstar 50th anniversary tour. Whoa, 50 already?
I know, can you believe it?
Oh my gosh. I can't wait to tell you, we can't wait to share the story with you. All right, we are going to go into that later. Aside from performing, Biddy's greatest passion is teaching and choreographing dance, particularly tap dancing. Yay, you're a tap queen. I love tap. Oh my gosh.
Me too.
Oh, and you have a picture of your...
Oh yeah. Conveniently located behind me. It is. So my grandmother was a tap dancer.
Whoa.
Here's her picture. The frame cracked, but there she is in all of her glory. That's my mom's mom.
Oh, that's so
yeah, that was fun. And then my mom was a musician, and so then here I am, also a tap dancer / musician. So I guess it runs in the family.
And your dad's a recording artist, right?
He is. He is a singer, songwriter, and he's a fellow actor and performer himself.
I know, he's amazing. Your whole family's
Jack of all trades.
I know. Oh my gosh, we are so excited to have you here today. And she's also a mentor to so many performers and young artists like Delaney. Delaney would not be where she is today without Biddy's help. Biddy was amazing. Biddy, do you currently still work at South Coast Performing Arts?
I do. I mean, yeah, they're on Zoom now. The classes are on Zoom, but yeah, I'm still working there. And usually when we're not in this pandemic, I come back whenever I'm not in New York City or touring or working. I come back to California, and they're the studio that like just takes me in, and I call them home. Yeah. Because I always have a job there, and that's really lucky. And honestly, in this industry, that's really rare, because if you're a dance teacher, they usually require like, you know, you to clear your schedule and then you are theirs. So to be able to go off and, you know, work on projects and then come back and have a place to teach is extremely special. Yeah. And I love that place. And I remember when I first met your daughter, I was like, there's something special here.
Oh my gosh, I know.
I was like, she's a great dancer, but there's so many other skills that she has that we need to utilize aside from dancing. She's an all-around artist.
She's funky.
Yep, she sure is. That's why I was like, I need to talk to this mom and see what we can do with this child.
Oh my gosh, I loved it. Oh my gosh.
Here we are now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I know. It's so exciting. We'll have to talk about that story too. And so you are a true bicoastal. Oh my gosh. So talk to us about that.
Well, that kind of fell into my lap, to be honest. It was always a goal of mine, or I would say it was a dream. It felt far away in high school, because you don't really know what your life's going to be like after high school, because you can't imagine it, because you've never not had that. You've never not been a kid. You've never not had that structure. I was in school from like birth, because both of my parents worked full time, like daycare, nursery, Montessori, all the way through high school. So I remember after that being like, okay, well, with this lack of structure, I need to, you know, figure something out. I need to figure out what I want to do. I just went on a tangent. What was the original question?
Talking about being a bicoastal.
Bicoastal. So I remember dreaming of like hearing that people were bicoastal in the world, and like hearing that idea, but it felt so abstract and far away, because I was like, what does that mean? Do you have to like own two houses? When do you fly back to one coast? When do you fly back to the other? Like, I don't understand that.
How does that work? Yeah.
And the way that it worked was very natural just for my particular lifestyle. It kind of found me before I realized it had become my life, and I was living that thing that I wanted but didn't know how to get. I moved to New York and made that my permanent address in 2011. I just decided, okay, I'm at the point, I have good representation, I've built my resume up enough, I'm almost to my equity card, now's the time for me to move to New York and see what happens. And so I moved there, and that was like my taxable address. Like New York City was my home, and I didn't have a home in California anymore. And then after that year there, I learned so much. I booked some jobs. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew that I had to be in both coasts to do it. So I was like, I can't give up teaching and choreographing and like the LA life, which is the life that I know because I'm born and raised in Orange County. But then I also can't give up the opportunity to work, and New York has all of the jobs. Like California has some of them, but if you really want to act and you want to get paid to act, you want to get your union status, you want to get health insurance through the union, you want to make a livable wage where you don't need a side job, all of those jobs are out of New York City. So I knew that at least during, quote, audition season, in order to get those jobs, even if those jobs weren't in New York, I had to move there, even if just temporarily a few months out of every year, in order to get those jobs. Then I would take that money, save it, go back to either work a job, you know, whatever, then go back home to Orange County, where I'm from, and work at a dance studio and make as much money as possible, save it, then move back to New York the next year and do it all over again.
Wow.
So that's basically been my life for the past 9 years. So usually like the fall, winter is when I'm in New York, and then spring, summer is either California or TBD.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I know. I remember you would come and we work on, you know, all of Delaney. You were a teacher for Delaney for several different things. And I remember when you were going to leave and Delaney's like, Biddy's good. We had like a Biddy countdown, you know, and she's like, she's leaving. And I'm like, it's okay, Delaney, she'll come back. Talk to her. That was hard for her, like, especially when she was little.
Especially she's so little too.
Yeah.
So, you know, time is moving so much slower. And she's like, so I've had this teacher, which to her, of course, felt like forever. And for me, it was like 6 months. And then, of course, now the teacher's just abandoning her. And she's like, but wait, my whole. So I always felt guilty because I'd be like immersed in the studio, like 24/7, choreographing all of these pieces, subbing as many classes as I could, just full, like, head first diving into choreography and dance teaching, which is like, I'm so passionate about it and I love it so much. And then I would just abandon everyone and like leave for 6 months and be like, bye.
No, but I remember our conference calls, you know, when we called you from like the dance competitions and the girls.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
That just got them so pumped up. I'm like, all right, it's time to call us Biddy.
That's right. And I remember I was in some other state. I don't remember. It might have been like, it was like Nevada or Utah, some state sort of nearby here. And you had texted me, and my phone at the time had the voice to text. So I remember pressing play and listening in my ear. And it was like your excitement that Delaney had gotten called back for the very first year of the holiday gem that you tried out for it. And it was so exciting. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, like here she is. She's going to do theater at a place with like the big kids and the grown-ups. Right. She's going to be treated like a professional.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that was so great. I know.
It was so fun.
To say. I know. And she still takes lessons with Damien, and she's been in 9 of their shows now.
Oh my gosh.
Every year it's like a Christmas tradition, you know.
I know. They just can't let go of the holiday gem. It's one of my favorite shows ever. Every year they're like, this is the last year. And I'm like, no, it's not. You got to bring it back next year. And then they do.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Well, talk to us about, okay, so your family, and you're currently residing here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you'll move back to New York. And I love Gretchen. Oh my gosh. Tell us about, you guys got married, 2 years ago now?
We did. It was New Year's Eve 2017. So this year will be almost 3 years. So 2.5 years ago already. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, and we're in Huntington Beach right now. We moved here after we moved to New York. So I actually moved to New York with Gretchen, who's now my wife, but at the time she was my girlfriend, and we decided, okay, we're going to move across the country together. So that was also another thing, because not only was I moving across the country, but I was like moving in with someone I was seeing, and we transported my cat, and we like moved our whole lives across the country. I mean, it was such a huge move. But then she moved back where she's from in Huntington Beach in 2012. And even though she's somewhat bi-coastal, LA is like really her home now.
Yeah.
I mean, even though she lives in Huntington Beach, LA is like her industry.
Right.
She knows she needs to live nearby.
Yeah.
So I do the same thing whenever I'm home. And so we live in Huntington Beach together.
Oh, that's so sweet, with Dinosaur.
With Dinosaur, Lorraine Rose Dawson, that tuxedo cat of 10 years. I don't know where he went. He just decided to leave the room.
And that cat is so much bigger than the last time I saw him.
Well, he also had about 20 treats yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's what happens when we have to keep them quiet, isn't it? Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Quiet,
Yep. Here, have a treat.
We're
20.
Right.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. And then, okay, so talk to me about your favorite performing credits. I love this. I remember reading them and I'm like, oh my gosh, you need to tell us about
Favorite.
this.
Well, I guess I would say the New York City Center encores would be a huge milestone, as you could say, because it was my first big New York City. I mean, you're looking out on Broadway on opening night kind of thing. Like, it was my first big job in the city, which was my dream. And that was in 2018, and that was Me and My Girl, directed by Warren Carlyle, Tony Award winner of a lot of Broadway shows. And I got to dance with Christian Borle. If you've ever seen NBC Smash, or Peter and the Starcatcher, or Something Rotten, he was the star of that Broadway show. I mean, if you name it, he's been in it. I had a 3 or 4 second partnering duo with Christian Borle, and I'll never forget it. I was like, this is so cool. Christian Borle, and it's just so normal. I'm going to pretend like this is my life every day, even though it's not. Because everyone in that show I was the greenest person in that show. Green meaning I'm like fresh or least experienced. Everyone else was like, yeah, I've got like 16 Broadway shows under my belt. You know, they've like, name it, they've been in it. And here I was like bright-eyed, like doing my homework, like trying to be like the best that I could be. And I just remember Warren with his thick British accent would be like, all right, from the top, Brittany and Kristin dancing, please. And I'd be like, this is my life. Like, I get to do this. This is so cool. Yeah, so that was fun. That was just a quick few weeks in New York City. That wasn't a long show at all, but it was very special. So that's probably one of my top memories theatrically.
And when was that? Was that in?
That was 2 years ago, actually, right now. So it was just 2018 May. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh, and we have so many others too. Oh my gosh.
Hair was another standout. So if you know the musical Hair, the recent Diane Paulus revival, which is incredible. I'm already passionate about the show Hair, but then the revival instilled a new passion for me. And we also had Ben Vereen come to one of the productions of Hair that I was in, and he came and he talked to us, and the press was there taking pictures and videos with him, like talking to us, and he played the wooden flute on his way out as like a Ben Vereen out. We were like, that was just Ben Vereen just walked into our rehearsal. And then the original writers, when I did the revival, we were rehearsing in New York, the original writers of Hair, the musical, came and watched our presentations. So we were given these presentations that we had to do, because Hair is very historical. It's about the Vietnam War. It's about the hippie movement, the Summer of Love, 1967 to about 1970. And you're playing a bunch of roles. It's very gender fluid. It's very, like I was John Wilkes Booth in one scene and had to crawl through the audience in a jacket, a mustache, and a gun in my hand. Yeah, imagine you're in a theater and you see someone crawling on the floor with a gun in their hand. The fact that that was even allowed, even though it was a fake gun, is beyond me, right? And you're crawling up, and then you shoot Abraham Lincoln, who's played by a Black woman. Hair is an incredible show. But yeah, when the writers came and they watched us do these presentations that we had to do that were based off of history, we had to like pinpoint one moment of the either hippie movement, the Vietnam War, or something else with the civil rights movement, and kind of talk about it, shed some light on it, and then even do an interpretive presentation on top of it. And then the writers came and watched those, and that was also really special.
Oh, that's so
talk about jumping into a show, not just externally, you know, you're learning the moves, you're learning the words, you're learning the music, but then you have people talk about their personal experiences in the war, their experiences with their friends who were drafted. Maybe they were too young, but it was like their next door neighbor who they'd known their whole life and then came back like 2 weeks later in a box. I mean, like the stories we were hearing, we had veterans come and watch the show who'd be crying in the aisles when we would be walking through with signs, and they would just look at us completely decorated, and like they knew what they were in for. But it's like when my grandpa, who was in the Korean War, went and saw Saving Private Ryan. Wow. It wasn't about the Korean War, but the fact that it was war, it like brought all of that back for him. And he had a moment after the movie, because art does that, you know? art changes things. Art brings you back to a time and a place.
It does. And it just makes you feel, you know.
It makes you feel, exactly. So it triggered all that kind of stuff, the visceral emotions and stuff back in him again. And that's what hair did for a lot of people when we toured with it. And it was very special. So I'll never forget that.
Oh, yeah. That's amazing. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I love it. And then just recently, you were in Jesus Christ Superstar, the 50th anniversary. Wow.
Can you believe?
50 already? Oh,
yeah, that came out in I think the concept album, that famous brown album, was 1970.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's what this version is based off of. So the reason they called it the 50th anniversary tour, aside from it being like how perfect 50 years later, but this new production was from the West End in London, and it was in 2017, and they decided to go back to the original concept album as the concept for this new version of Jesus Christ Superstar. So they were like, we don't want to tell the literal narrative. We would rather have the concept album just come to life on stage. We'd rather it be a rock concert gone wrong. So that's what we did. And basically we were a mob of people. It's 90 minutes, no intermission. And we use glitter at the end of the show to crucify Jesus. And then we put him on a cross made of his sound equipment, because he's a rock star, at the very end of the show. Because remember, Jesus was a carpenter, and then he was put on a cross, which is, you know, nail, wood, tree. So the same irony, the same thing happened in this production, where we would go, one, throw glitter. I mean, it was very disturbing. One of the reviews said, it abused glitter in a way I'll never be able to unsee, end quote. And after the 39 lashes of just being covered in glitter and becoming that icon, this version is so unlike any other version you've seen. It's pretty incredible. Wow. But yeah, then at the very end, he would get raised up, and he would be on his equipment, his rock star equipment. Wow. And then the show would end, and it was up to artistic interpretation. Really interesting. I don't want to give too much away.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm hoping it comes back.
I am too. So tell me, so that was the last production you're in before COVID craziness, right? So
yep.
Take us back there. So we were in
Cleveland. We had just gotten to Cleveland. So every Monday the tour moves to a new city. We had just started our 3-weekers. So normally it's 1 week. So on Monday you travel to a new city. Tuesday you tech and do sound check, you open that night, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then the next day, Monday, you're on the road again, right? So we just got to Cleveland, and we had 3 weeks there. The first time we ever had 3 weeks anywhere. Wow. So they decided, we're going to fly Tim Rice in, who's one of the original composers. Him and Andrew Lloyd Webber did Jesus Christ Superstar. We're going to fly Tim Rice in. We're going to add 22 new string instruments split between 2 box seats on either side of this Cleveland gorgeous house, right? So 11 in one box seat and 11 in the other, and there was like a dim spotlight on them. And they had been rehearsing tech and sound and all that for like hours, right? Then we finally open on Tuesday. The next day was Wednesday, the 18th or 17th, 19th, something like that, of March, right around that week that everything stopped. And then the governor of Ohio announced, oh, we got to shut down. And that Thursday, which was supposed to be our technical opening night party for those 3 weeks, ended up being our closing party. And everyone went home within 48 hours of that.
Oh my gosh.
So it was pretty devastating, only because even though we knew what was happening, we were on the road and we didn't know yet how it was going to affect us. Yeah. We were having meetings, but until something was actually shut down and we were told, you legally can't do this anymore. You got to go. We got to stop. This bad things are happening. Abort. Yeah. It felt like it happened so fast. It was like a plague coming in, and then we were home. Yeah. It was very bizarre. Yeah. And then of course, so Tim Rice didn't end up coming, obviously, because no one could fly in. And the strings, who'd rehearsed forever, who knows if we'll see them again. We were supposed to have the creatives from London from the original 2017 revival that this was based on. They were all supposed to fly in for this Cleveland show. We were supposed to get a rock star who I cannot name for legal reasons, but we were supposed to get a very famous rock star to play our Pontius Pilate for 3 months.
Oh my gosh.
So who knows if we'll get him back, but if we do, that would be really exciting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so can you believe all that stuff is, I mean, literally we just reached this new like turning page in our tour, and then it was like, okay, bye.
Oh my gosh.
That's it.
Wow. So have they been in like contact with you? Do you know?
Yeah. So every week or every 2 weeks, they update us. And it's not just the cities, it's of course the states, it's the union, it's federal, everything. And because we're a tour and we're playing a bunch of different venues of different sizes in different states and different cities with different jurisdictions and different rules and this pandemic and reopening, etc., it's kind of complicated, especially because this September we were supposed to start playing 8 weeks in Canada. So I think the soonest we're going to come back is December or November, but they're looking at a January 2021 reopening. But every day I feel in the news, I am getting news of another friend who's lost her tour, or another friend who's lost their Broadway contract, or another show that's no longer gonna, workshop its way into off-Broadway or whatever. And so as much as they're continuing to be on top of it and email us and update us, I am kind of expecting the worst. I keep waiting. It's like I'm on eggshells waiting for that email or that phone call that says, no, we're done. Because we're one of the few that's left. Everyone has canceled. So the fact that we're still thinking that we're going to these other cities and that we've rebooked and rescheduled is very promising. I'm just trying to really hold on to that and trying to think positively. That's all I have right now,
Yeah. It's so sad,
It is sad. The way that it's affecting the arts, especially singing, is the most devastating.
Yeah.
Because singing requires so much diaphragm work. You're projecting, you've seen shows, how much spit flies out of actors and singers' mouths.
Yeah.
And now they can't even touch each other. So how are we going to do theater? Like, everything's going to change going forward. It's not going to be as simple as reopening and going back to normal. I mean, choirs aren't going to be able to meet again until there's a serious scientific discussion behind how we can make this work and be healthy, because of how much breath and everything that requires,
Oh, it's so sad. It's really
not to mention, of course, the audiences and sitting in a 2,000 seat amphitheater, etc. So
yeah, I know it's beyond sad. I really pray that there's some way that we can bring them back earlier than later, because it's definitely missing, and it's made life really flat. Like I miss the creativity, like I miss, like, Delaney Goes to OSHA. I miss seeing her shows. I miss her being on, I just miss it because it means so much to them too, and the actors, the, production people, there's so many people involved, not only that, but, like the audience, it gives life to audience, I mean, it's such, like, it's just so much hope for an audience that needs that as well,
It's so true. It's so true. And I especially think that live arts are the most hit by this.
Mm-hmm.
Because Hollywood, not only does Hollywood have the funding, but they're able to, because it's film, because they don't have to be in front of a massive audience. I think that they can come back and bounce back from this a whole lot easier and a whole lot faster than Broadway can.
Yeah.
And it's just so unfortunate. And I pray, and I'm trying to think positive, but at the same time, I have to realistically remind myself that, things are going to be different. It's never just going to go back to normal. Like, the arts have changed now forever because of this. And whatever we have to do going forward, I just hope that it's for the best, and that we as humans aren't going to allow this art form to die. Yeah. Like, we will, as soon as things reopen, like, we have to pay money and go see shows, especially at the community level, because that's where it starts. Like, the second the Gem opens, we need to be seeing shows at the Gem and at the Rose Center and at our schools like OSHA and OCC. And then as soon as regional theaters like 3D theatricals can reopen, then we need to go there. And then when Broadway can reopen, I really hope that everybody who's backed Broadway for all these years can continue to support. But that's the scary thing, is because of the economy and so many people out of work, who can afford to even see the shows and pay for those things, let alone are people even going to want to, even if the rules are we can be in an audience again? There are going to be a lot of people that are like, but I'm still going to choose not to because that scares me.
Right.
And because of that, how do we keep it afloat?
There's like a scare, and then there's also, we don't know what's going to happen. It's this whole unknown,
We don't. That's what it is. It's the unknown.
Right. It's like we don't know what's going to happen with our economy. You know, we don't understand what's going to happen with our finances. So it's really sad. Oh my gosh. But let's go back to the bright side. So we are. I know that you are a choreographer, right? And you also teach. And
Yeah.
so the dance studios, some of the dance studios are open, right? Are they
Yeah.
still open? And you're doing classes? Tell us about that.
Well, I'm only doing Zoom classes right now. So I think soon we might have the option as teachers to go into the studio, but it would only be the teachers and maybe like a soloist or like one student, like a private lesson. But as far as like going in to teach classes, it's still going to be a far away thing. So we're keeping those on Zoom for now.
Yeah.
And I have to say, there's, of course, the plus and the minus. I'll start with the bad news first. We can concentrate on the positive, on the bright side. So the negative thing about teaching on Zoom, especially tap, which is what I'm most passionate about, my favorite thing, is that tap is rhythmic and you have to hit exact pockets of the rhythm in the music. But if you're teaching tap and people are muted, and as you know on Zoom, there's lags and there's delays, if you're feeding your music, say, through your device, and everybody's on mute, you can't demonstrate it with the music because then you're going to be off your own music being fed through their device, like the way they hear it. So then I have to do it on the carpet, and I'm about half a second ahead of them. So I'm sort of cueing them, but I can't do it with them. Then on my end, I'm going through gallery view, and I'm looking at, say, 50 people tapping, but depending on their internet speeds, everyone's going at a different speed, and they're all muted, and some of them I can't even see their feet. So for a tap teacher, as far as me being able to be like, hey, I can help you correct something, it's harder to do that in Zoom. The good thing, though, this is something that I actually thought about this week, and I think that you will definitely agree with this, is that tap dancing can be a really intimidating thing when you're taking a tap class, especially if you have to tap by yourself in front of other people, right? Mm-hmm. But think about it this way. The chance to hear yourself by yourself in a tap class, but no one else judging your sounds, is kind of the perfect way to learn tap.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like a tap teacher's dream, because the whole point is like we want everybody to hear themselves one at a time, right? Which is why we do one at a time exercises and across the floor, because we can hear ourselves in a group and we can feel our body, but we don't know what our feeling and what we're hearing if all of that's coming from us. Oh, wow. And not until you go one at a time do you truly know really where you are. And so on Zoom, everyone's one at a time. So everyone can hear themselves, but not have to be in an intimidating environment, being put on the spot by themselves in front of everybody. Right. So I think that that's kind of like a perfect blend. So therefore, everyone's not being clouded or noise crowded with other people's sounds, and they can hear their own, but they're still in the safety of their own home. Right. And they don't have to worry about their confidence as much. Exactly. Because then they don't feel like, oh no, like now I have to do this thing and I have to be good, and then you freeze up, and then once you tense, the first thing that happens is your loose ankles, which you need for tap, tense up because you're nervous about making sounds, and then you can't even honor the integrity of the thing that you would have done fine if it weren't for that fear. So now that we have tap on Zoom, like now is actually the time for people to get past that, and like now's the time for us to take tap and listen to yourself, you know? Yeah. Oh my gosh, well, tell us about that, because you are teaching classes, and classes too. You're teaching classes. I am. Actually, tomorrow, Thursday morning at 11 a.m., I have my second ever beginning free adult tap class. Ah. Last week we had so much fun that it was requested that we do it again, because it was one of my most favorite classes I've had like all year. Yeah, we touched all the bases. We covered everything, and like so many people came from so many different backgrounds and so many different parts of the world, and we were all there to learn tap and have fun. Some people dusting off their tap shoes that had been a while, and some other people were brand new. And yeah, so that's happening tomorrow, and that's an absolute beginners class at 11 a.m. on 3DU, and then Friday I have my last intermediate advanced, and then we're going to take a month off of 3DU. Oh, okay, and then you'll be starting classes again. And then starting classes again, but probably restructured. Right, exactly. Yeah. So tell our audience how they can learn about those classes. So 3DU is through 3D Theatricals, which is a not-for-profit, also providing a ton of jobs in Orange County for theater people, regional theater company. and they do things out of mostly Cerritos Performing Arts Center now. And 3D Theatricals is the three Dawson children. So it's TJ Dawson, Daniel Dawson, and Gretchen Dawson, the three Ds, using their inheritance money, and they put it into a theater company right at the recession. So a bunch of theater companies went under right around 2008, and 3D decided that's when they were going to start. So all these people who normally would be out of jobs because all these theater companies were dropping like flies, 3D kind of came in and were like, hey, we'll give you jobs. And even though we can't do theater right now because of the pandemic, the awesome thing is they have immediately transferred to this online program that's free right now, totally free, so take advantage. And it's called 3DU, as in 3D and U. And it is every day, Monday through Friday, like 9 to 4. And you can find information on their Instagram, 3D Theatricals, the Facebook 3D Theatricals, and then my own personal Instagram, which is Bitty, B-I-T-T-Y, got Graham. I also post a lot of information about my classes.
Oh my gosh. And there's so many great classes. Like,
oh my gosh, there's panels of like celebrities, like people who were on Sabrina, on Netflix, and we had Krista Rodriguez, who's a huge Broadway star, and she was also on NBC's Smash. She was on a 3DU panel the other day. We've had Alice Ripley. We've had, who else have we had? We've had Kaylin from the Ellen Show, the guy who judges all those cooking videos, and he's so funny. Yeah, he was on a 3DU panel, and they asked him some rapid fire questions, and that was fun.
I know, and there's so many great like instructionals, like, you know, they're talking about like doing an audition, you know. And
oh yeah, they have audition workshops, so people who are like not wanting to lose those skills because of quarantine, they get dressed up in their audition outfit, they bring a 32 bar cut, and they do it live on Zoom for a professional, and that professional gives them notes. I mean, it's incredible. It's something you would pay for at a college.
Exactly. That's what we paid for when we were back to normal.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why this isn't going to be, I mean, the fact that this is free and it's all the time, that can't last forever.
No,
but
what a gift. What a gift. You know?
It is. It's such a gift. And yeah. I'm so thankful to be a part of it and to also benefit from it, because I've been taking the classes too.
I know. I'm like, I really need. Delaney's been on one. I think Delaney has been on a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I showed her all the class. She goes, "Oh my gosh!" I'm like,
"Yeah, we have a lot of OSHA students who've been logging on."
Yeah. They've been talking about it, so that's so cool. Oh my gosh.
It's been fun.
I love it. Okay, and there's so much to talk about. I love that, and I'm so happy that you're able to teach, you know, kids. That is so important. You know, what happened with dance competitions?
Oh yeah, so I'm still teaching at South Coast, and I still have tap classes that the kids log in, and the studio was, thank God for Stacy. She's so good with technology, and she's always kind of like been one step ahead of the game. Yeah. So around this pandemic time, a lot of dance studios actually went under, which was really unfortunate, because a dance studio is already a really hard business to uphold or to obtain or whatever. And then on top of that, now that we're in this pandemic and people can't actually go into a studio, now we're trying to teach dance on Zoom. She went, oh, I know exactly what I need to do. We had a few meetings about it. Everyone learned how to do it correctly. Boom, all the classes have been going awesomely. And like, thank God. With competitions, some of them have refunded money. Others have, like we would be at Showstoppers this past weekend for Memorial Day. Others have given credit for the 2021 season, so that will just carry over. Yeah. And then a few of them have gone virtual, which isn't my favorite, which is you still pay an entry fee, and then you submit a video, like say that they had a video of a competition from before this pandemic hit, then they can submit that video, and that's counted as their competition entry. Oh, wow. And this competition is still virtual. They still have judges. It's still given a 1, 2, 3, you know, place through top 10 or whatever. But it's just interesting to how some of them have adapted, and others have gone, listen, we can't have a competition. It's impossible. Here's your money back. Let's just see what 2021 has to offer.
I could see how like they could do solos, perhaps. You know.
Yeah.
It's still a lot of people coming to an event.
Exactly.
One of the friends is a dancer, and I forgot what one, but she's doing a few virtual, and her mom's like, you better get this perfect because we could do this over and over and over again, you know. So it kind of takes that out of the loop too, unfortunately. It's not like, here we go, you know, let's get on stage, you know. And so
which is
many.
kind of the point of it. You know, it's teaching you how do you calm yourself when you're nervous. I mean, there's so many amazing life skills that competitions can teach you. It's like, it can teach you teamwork. It can teach you how to be a good sport. It can teach you, I mean, you name it. I think that sports, but especially dance competition, because it's like sports and arts together, can teach you so much, as long as the studio has the right intentions, of course.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Delaney learned so much. You know, she was only in it for like 5 years, but she can give a speech now. She's like, you know, she can present herself. You know, like she's like a little adult. You know,
Right? Because the stage doesn't scare her. She was on starting at what, like 6, maybe even earlier?
yeah. Oh my gosh, and there's just so many benefits to
There
being,
are.
you know, it's just to be a performer. And then when she moved from, I mean, you were so nice to tell us about theater, you know, but you know, there's so many life lessons that you not only give a gift to to your audience, but you also give a gift to yourself, you know.
Exactly, exactly. You're giving yourself, you're teaching yourself poise, you're teaching yourself leadership skills, you're teaching yourself like a teamwork, you're teaching yourself how to breathe through something that might be scary. I mean, there's so many lessons in it. It's pretty incredible, and you can apply it almost anywhere in life.
Yeah, it is. It's just amazing too to see performers. Like, you know, when I go to OSHA, you know, I'm just like, I am so amazed at these kids, you know, and like, even when you, like, you know, when I see pictures of you and you're out on, you know, in a production, you know, these people just give your heart away to the audience, you know, and you give such a gift. And it's just such a lacking thing in our climate now, you know, and I just really pray, like you, that it's going to come back, you know, in
Same.
some form, you know, because
Yeah,
the world needs it. The world needs you.
I
The
hope so.
world needs it, and we need it. The world needs this. You know, they need
I'd
like,
like to think that too. You know,
yeah,
I think that if anyone thinks, you know, the arts aren't important, then they should go a week without Netflix, or a week without listening to the radio,
yeah,
or a week without books and movies and all their favorite things. I mean, that's what's been keeping us afloat during this time. The
yeah,
Spanish flu, you know, pandemic or whatever that happened 100 years ago, they didn't have Zoom, they didn't have Netflix, they didn't have streaming. They would just like hit things with a stick if they were bored, and then you know, and their lives were already harder, of course, like, you know, getting food
right,
and water, etc.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, we are so lucky that in 2020 we have the ability to take a dance class in our own home.
yeah. And you know, even open up the world to a person who might not have the confidence to be a dancer. You know, now they have the
Exactly.
space in their house. You know, and it's something
Yes.
that it's a gift. It's a gift to yourself to try these things. You know,
Yeah, and now they have the safety of their own home to try something like, say, beginning tap that they always wanted to do, but they were too scared to actually walk in a dance studio. And
yeah.
now they can walk in a dance studio and have had what, like months of tap training from their home. We couldn't
Exactly.
have had that
No.
even 10 years ago.
Well, and I think too, like they might not even, if they even had it, you know, it like maybe their confidence wasn't there. You know, I just really am so happy that people are trying these things, because you're giving your gift to yourself. Your soul needs, a lot of people's soul needs this. You know.
Agreed. It's a
Oh,
soul vacation. You know, it's
yes.
like dessert.
Oh, I
It's
like it.
important.
Soul
Yeah.
vacation. I love that. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so great chatting with you. Oh my gosh. We just have to,
You
I,
too, Kristen.
oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. I just miss you, you know, and I'm so happy
Zoom
that
hug.
I know, hugs. Oh my gosh. And I can't wait till you're on stage again. I know the day's coming, and I need to get my tap shoes and go out to the garage with
See you
my,
in tap class soon, hopefully.
not with Delaney, because I would embarrass her, but I could do, we're at different levels. So I could take a beginning one. So
You can come tomorrow if you're free at 11.
oh, that's right. I can, right before my next podcast. I love that. You
Oh
know,
my
like,
goodness. Yeah, get all nice and warmed up.
right. That's what we have hair product for. It's okay. A little brush. So.
Yeah, exactly. Ready to
That's
go.
right. Back to normal. We all ready. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, so tell us, so you're going to be continuing on with 3D theatricals right now, and then what else?
Well, yeah, until the end of the week, and then 3D is taking a month-long hiatus. So then I will only be teaching through South Coast, which is a few times a week. Like, gosh, maybe 5 or 6 hours tops. And then everything else is me taking classes, or without 3DU, which has honestly been the majority of, if I'm not teaching, then I'm taking class.
Mhm.
Without 3DU, I'm going to have to think of other ways to continue my arts integration. Is that the way to put it? Making sure that aside from just binging Netflix, that I'm still involved in the theater community is basically what I'm trying to say, because that's what 3DU and what the Gem is doing with the cocktail hour, but especially 3DU because it's like live on Zoom with everybody every day.
Yeah.
That's what it's been providing people. So without that, and myself included, I'm going to be like, well, now what? So I'm hoping to find other choreographers, other teachers, other studios, other programs to hopefully immerse myself in, maybe learn a thing or two. I don't know, maybe I'll take a new kind of class that I've never taken before. I'm not quite sure what I'll do.
Yeah. Oh my
Or
gosh.
or I'll start another class outside of 3DU, like my own beginning tap class for the time being,
Oh,
etc., which could be nice.
let me know.
Oh, I will. Don't you worry.
Okay, good. All right. Yay. Oh my gosh. It's been such a blessing to talk to you. It's been a gift. I'm like, my soul is happy and lighter because I got
Happy soul.
happy soul, happy soul. Oh my gosh. And okay, so tell us again, tell our audience how they can follow you.
I'm on Instagram as Bitty, Bitty, got Graham, because I was after all my friends who had Instagram before me. So when I finally got a Graham, I said, Bitty got Graham. And it's all one word, and it's on Instagram. And then on Facebook, I am Brittany, Brittany, Rose, like the flower, and then Dawson, Dawson.
Great.
I guess I'm the 5D.
Oh,
5D theatricals.
Oh my
All we
gosh.
need is Daniel to get married, and then we'll be 3 to the third, or 3 cubed theatricals.
Oh my gosh.
If that even works exponentially, maybe it would just be 60 theatricals.
That's right. That's right.
Or 3 to the second if it's 6. I don't know. Exponents. It's been a while. Math.
That's why we concentrate on the arts.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, this is why I count to 8. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1.
We
We're
can
back.
write a book, but
I should. I only count to 8.
yeah, let's just not do math.
Yeah, let's not do it. I mean, I do it to tap. Honestly, tap is a lot of math, but you don't need to count past 8, really. The occasional 10.
For a 12 count, maybe.
Yeah, 12 count when you're feeling like fancy. But other than that, yeah, the math exists in the rhythm. I'm not gonna do any crazy algebra anytime soon.
Yeah,
So
no.
60 theatricals, we'll see.
Oh, and then have our audience tell us our audience again about 3D theatricals. How do they find?
Oh yeah, so 3D theatricals. You can follow them on their Facebook, which is 3D, and I think there's a hyphen between the 3 and the D.
Oh yeah.
3D, and then theatricals, like the word capitalized, and that is a Facebook page. They have an Instagram, and then they have a website, and I believe the website is just 3dtheatricals.org, and it has all the same information on it. And again, it was started by the 3 Dawson siblings, TJ, Daniel, and Jeanette. I'm sorry, TJ, Daniel, and Gretchen. TJ and Jeanette is TJ's wife. She was the 4th D, because she was the first in-law, I guess. And then I'm like the 5th D. But yeah, now we're just waiting for D number 6. Daniel lives above us, by the way. He lives in the unit directly above us. So I could yell loud enough and say, hi, Daniel, and he would probably hear us.
Oh my gosh.
And he works at Disneyland. I mean, not now because Disneyland's not open. But he normally is the Olaf in the Frozen show at California Adventure.
Oh my gosh, I've seen that show.
Yeah, so you've probably seen Daniel play Olaf. He's incredible.
Cool. Oh my
Yeah. Yeah, and so that's 3D Theatricals, and they do their shows out of Cerritos Performing Arts Center, and of course they're waiting for their season to start up just like everyone else.
And they're amazing.
Oh my gosh. They just got, I think it was the Broadway set and costumes from the Lincoln Center for their production of The King and I.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
I'm shushing, but I don't need to shush because it's not a secret, but it's just so special. So when they do that, which will hopefully be the first show they do in January or February 2021, whenever they're allowed to come back again, it's either going to be Newsies or I think King and I. But if it's Newsies, that's extra exciting because they had just cast the show when they found out they couldn't do it. So I think they might just bring that same cast back and do it the year later.
Oh my gosh.
Really special. So I hope that everybody gets to see Newsies at the Cerritos Performing Arts Center with 3D theatricals, because I know for a fact it's going to be out of this world.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You need to get updated so we can make sure the audience knows.
Oh,
Oh
absolutely.
my gosh, people, invest in live shows. You know, take your family when things start reopening.
We need it. We really do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to be going to the second that gym has that show, the first show out, I'm there.
I am too. So we'll see each other.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay. I know, right?
Yeah.
And live shows are the things that we need to remember to prioritize, because I think that movies are going to be fine.
Yeah.
They will be okay. Hollywood has enough money.
Yeah.
Hollywood doesn't rely on season subscribers or single ticket sales like the Pantages and the Amundsen and the Segerstrom. By the way, Jesus Christ Superstar is still planning on coming to the Segerstrom March of 2021.
Yay!
So they haven't canceled that yet. So fingers crossed that that's still happening.
Yeah, I do. I really hope so. Oh my God.
Yeah, that would be a dream, because I've performed at OCPAC, but I've never toured with a production through OCPAC / the Segerstrom now. And that would be very, very special to have that show be there. So
it's better.
I know, right?
Yeah, I can't wait for you to come back and tell us all these exciting things that you're going to be doing shortly.
Yeah, I know. Shortly. That's what I'm telling myself too. Like, I know it's not going to come back to normal. We have to accept a new normal. We have to acclimate. But I hope whatever it is happens as quickly and as safely as possible.
Yes, me too. Me too. And let us know about if you do end up having tap classes, because I'll put it on my On the Bright Side page. So
oh, good.
Yeah.
And then always on my Instagram is the #1 place to go for all of my tap class information. Not only my story, but my actual scroll. If I have a new class coming, or if something's changing, I try to put it on my Instagram always.
Great. Oh my gosh. Oh, Biddy, it's been such a joy to have you today. I'm so happy.
Such a joy to be had.
Oh, yay. Well, you're going to be had a lot, because turning. We need to invest in the live arts. I can't wait.
Yes, we do. And I can't wait for OSHA to reopen as well. And I hope that schools reopen for your kids too, because I know that that's super important. And I know online learning is just not as fun.
No, it's not. I know. I think we have a meeting next week, so I'm going to be attending. See what's going on. So,
if anything, I hope that we as a human race learn not to take advantage of the awesome things that we have in this world, or to take advantage of them, I guess, just depending, not to take them for granted, I guess is the point I'm trying to make. Just remember how good we have it. Think about the fact that you're lucky enough to be in an area that even has arts schools and many amazing programs to choose from, many amazing studios, many amazing theater companies. I mean, if you go anywhere else in the world, that's harder to find, but we're lucky in this area and a few other areas as well that have thriving arts communities that hopefully will not allow the arts to die, but it will take all of us to keep it afloat. So I'm thinking positively. I'm going to think on the bright side, and I'm just going to say out loud right now that the arts are here to stay, and we're going to make it happen.
Yes, and we need you to help us to make that happen. So.
We all have to do our part. I'm gonna pay for shows. I'm gonna pay for whatever I can with the little money I have coming in right now during this pandemic. I'm gonna put it where it matters most to me and the things that have made me the happiest throughout the years.
And it gives so much to your life,
Yes.
And there's just something about the live arts that I get chills just talking about it, because it helps you feel, helps you feel. And I think we live such in a stoic society sometimes, and we forget our feelings, but it just helps you reconnect with yourself and other people and relationships,
Yeah, I heard a quote recently, and I don't remember where I saw it, but I think someone recently said, a Broadway house is where all the hearts sink together, or something, and everybody, think about it, it's a beautiful thing, because we have concerts and we have sports games and there are a lot of people there, but only a Broadway house watching a drama has that many people's hearts all synced together. You're all feeling the same thing at the same time.
I love that.
And it's so beautiful.
Yeah, and it's so genuine,
It's so genuine.
It's such a needed, facet for society and for us as individuals,
Yeah, it shows us what it means to be human, and it puts that on display and reminds us that we're all human. and that we're all not as
Oh
different
my
as we
gosh.
think we are.
No, and we have, yeah, and we're all here to work together, you know.
Yeah,
Let's not be divisive. Let's work together.
we
And
have to work together,
yeah,
especially to crawl out of this.
I know.
Yeah,
And help each other, you know, and support the arts, because there's so many people that we don't even know that are involved, you know, and are hurt by this, hurt
right.
by not having the live arts. You know, it's
Yeah.
not
Oh my God.
it's not just,
Yes.
you know, it's the stage crew, it's the writers, it's the theater owners, it's the
Yes.
directors.
Oh my gosh. The people, the producers,
Yeah,
like, because they're the ones who had to put the money out in order for the project or whatever it is to be possible, and then everything else comes back up. But then they're still putting things out anyway, even though they're not getting anything back in. And that's what's so amazing, is there's so many people like 3D theatricals, but they're not the only ones. The arts community is such a generous community, because when you think about it, like, we don't go into it for the money. Like, if I wanted to move to New York and make money, I would have worked somewhere else. I wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have been a performer. Even when you make it to Broadway, it's still not, Hollywood money. It's still not, you don't do it for the money, you do it for the craft.
yeah, and you do it for the world.
You do it for the world. You do it for the purpose that it is the human experience displayed. And if we don't have that, we don't have anything to relate to.
Oh, you need your own podcast.
Oh my gosh. This is my first time ever being on one. So nervous.
We could talk about that later. Oh my gosh, it's been such a gift. Oh, and everybody, please do your share and help the arts. We really need your help in the live arts.
And a big way to do it also is this thing called the Actors Fund. So if you don't know what the Actors Fund is, Google it. It basically provides not only actors, but a lot of different people in the arts with essential either money or job opportunities, or et cetera, whatever they might need at the time. And especially when this pandemic hit, there were people that I knew that benefited from donations from the Actors Fund, like people that were, say, just about to have a baby and both of them lost their Broadway contracts. And the Actors Fund stepped in and said, hey, we'll help you get on your feet for these next couple of months.
Oh, wow.
And that's a beautiful gift. And there's a lot of beautiful things happening like that. And especially the union for Actors Equity has been an incredible thing. They've waived their premium fees. They've helped people make sure that they can still get access to their health care, even if they're not getting their allotted weeks. So there's a lot of really great resources right now, and a lot of people helping each other out, which is beautiful.
And we'll have those links at the end of the show. So
great.
Everybody do your part, and thank you, Biddy, for being here. It's been such a gift, and yay! I'm so happy. Yay! High five. And I love you, and I can't wait to
love you too, Kristin.
I can't wait to hear how things are going to turn around, and I can't wait to hear more bright sides from your life, and for giving the world what they need.
Amen. Namaste.
Oh, it's been so good, and
oh no, you're frozen. Are you there? Kristin, you're frozen.
First one, and following Biddy, finding out 3D theatricals, all their classes that will be happening in a month if you don't see the show sooner than this week. And we love you, and we can't wait for you to come back again. And thank you for supporting the arts. Yay! The live arts. Woohoo!
Live arts. Live arts.
Live arts. Live arts.
Live arts. Live arts.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. All right.
No, thank you. And thank you for this Brightside podcast. What a flower in the middle of a rainy day.
Oh, well, I try, you know what, and that's what I want to do. I want to give people, hope, and,
hope is so important right now. So thank you.
It is. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Biddy. Woohoo. And we will see you. Oh my gosh. And we will see you soon. And I will be looking forward to finding out more about your classes. The beginning.
Of course.
You're private.
You got it. And I might bully you just a little bit with class information. Might be like, see you at class, Kristin?
I hope so. Yay. I'll be there. And hopefully you'll give me new options. I can help you with timing to work on.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Done and done. I will take it.
A girls' night out, tapping, and then we could have a virtual happy hour later.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the virtual cocktail party right after virtual tap class.
Woo, I love it. All right. Burn those calories, then drink them. Got it.
You got it. That's my life.
Let's say goodbye to the audience. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.